Well, now what?
And here we are.
Action.
Action.
Sorry. No. What's up?
Nothing. Here to review a movie. How about you?
Yeah, well, why not?
Yeah.
We're here.
Whoop.
Hey, welcome to Moviesucktastic. I'm Scott.
Howdy.
The cool one's Joey.
Ooh.
He's saying howdy, but I'm the one in Texas. So
That's weird.
That's good. And we're reviewing today. You tell him.
Rob Zombie's The Munsters.
So, disclaimer.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, disclaimer. I have never been a Munsters fan.
I like The Munsters. I always did.
I watched it as a kid. You know, like how you watch anything that's on TV. It's on, okay, it's this or nothing, so I'm going to watch it. I watched it as a kid. But, like, once that wasn't an option there and I didn't have to watch it, I've never gone back. I've never, like, oh, that was a fun show. No, it wasn't. It was just a distraction. Addams Family, I've always gone back. Love Addams Family. I've always been a fan. And, you know, it's that thing. You're either an Addams Family fan or a Munsters fan. You know?
Sure.
And I've always been Addams Family.
Yeah. Elvis, Beatles. You know. Tarantino coined that in Pulp Fiction. I think that works, actually.
I'm not a music person, so I don't know.
Yeah, but I love the Beatles. I like Elvis. But, you know. And that's exactly what Tarantino says in Pulp Fiction. Or Uma Thurman's character, Mia Wallace. She's like, you're either an Elvis fan or a Beatles fan. You can like both, but you're truly a fan of only one. And it's the truth. I am a Beatles fan. I like Elvis, but I go Beatles all the time. That's where I go. Anyway, so yeah, we're doing The Munsters. Now, when I heard that this was happening, I actually heard this on Howard Stern, of all places, because Howard Stern and Rob Zombie are buds, and I guess it got not leaked, but Howard Stern had heard from Rob Zombie that he was doing The Munsters, and that's where I first heard that it was happening. Now, with that said, I also know that Rob Zombie is a huge Munsters fan. Huge. And I thought, well, if he's that big of a fan, you know, maybe he'll go and maybe put his own take on it, but really kind of stay true to the 60s show more than anything. And, well, there's a little bit more artistic freedom than I was expecting.
Well, I don't know about artistic freedom. I mean, that I don't.
Liberties.
You know,
We'll say liberties.
Well, I mean, he basically makes it an origin story of the Munsters, or at least starts it over again, because it's not going to be the same one going into that series. But he kind of gives you like an origin story for it, which I don't know if they ever did.
Yeah, like Herman Munster is meeting Lily for the first time. They don't have kids yet. He's not even referring to him as grandpa because there is no kids yet. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
with the opening, which it opens with I forget the scientist doctor's name.
Oh, I have it.
He's that creepy ass fucking guy that
he was in 31. He played the clown.
31,
don't call me a fucking clown.
Yeah.
Dr. Wolfgang. Dr. Wolfgang something.
Like Patriot, Petronius or something weird like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't have like the facts up in front of me. I'm a complete fucking ass.
I got it. It's here.
Yeah.
I had it.
Are you okay over there?
I'm making a joke. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just click on his name. It's okay. I built a new computer. It's not going to freeze up on me.
And we come to a screeching halt.
It's Dr. Wolfgang Orlok.
Orlok. Okay, Wolfgang Orlok. I was off. I was way
Dr. Orlok Wolfgang. Dr. Orlok Wolfgang. He might have a longer name, but that's what he is on IMDb. So, but anyway, he plays the doctor. Daniel Roebuck plays the Count / Grandpa, but also there's a little TV show, like a hosted TV show, like a nighttime type show, and he plays the host that as well. Jeff Daniel Phillips, if you don't remember him, he was also in 31, 3 from Hell as well. He plays Herman Munster, and of course, Rob Zombie casts his wife yet again. I think this is every movie he's ever made, with Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily. Now,
right.
I was watching this with Mare, and the first thing Mare said was she should not be in this movie as Lily at all. She just shouldn't be this character. The acting, just the if you take Lily from the TV show and Lily from the movie, they don't line up.
I thought, all right, so I'm not a fan of Sherry Moon Zombie as far as like him injecting in all her films too. However, I'm not a harsh critic of hers except for House of Salem or Lords of Salem. Sorry, Lords of Salem. God fucking help me, that film. Ignoring that, I don't really have anything against her acting, and I actually thought she was like I thought the acting in this film was I have no problem with the acting. I thought she did great. I thought Jeff Daniel Phillips did okay for Herman.
I love Daniel Roebuck as the Count.
I don't like the character, but he nails it.
If there was anything I could take away from this movie is how much I enjoyed him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. When he rises out of the coffin and his back gives out and he's like, "Ooh, do that thing you do," and he fixes him. He goes, after 300, everything goes, and I mean everything. It just, I just love the way he delivered Grandpa in this movie, very much.
Yeah. I mean, the very opening when they were grave robbing and the zombie, the corpse comes up to them and they conk it out. They definitely set a tone saying, okay, this is going to be, spooky. We're really going to take the whole scary thing a bit, to the extreme. But I
mean, it's only rated PG.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was totally off my, I didn't, this is like, there's no reason in the world for me to watch this movie except for this show. Yeah.
Did you not know it was PG-13?
No. So I was watching it, and then it occurs, wait a minute, Rob Zombie, how bad is this going to be? I paused it real quick and checked PG. Said, oh, fuck. I think the only thing that would have saved it for me would have been if they were like foul-mouthed, like from Devil's Rejects or something.
Why is work? Just stop it with work. Sorry about that. I muted my phone.
Because Captain Spaulding would have played the Count if he hadn't died.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, of course. I mean, or if he didn't play the Count, he would have played somebody.
But I mean, it's good to see George Garcia get work. I love them in Lost. I really don't. I hate the fact that I haven't seen him in a lot of things since. So it's good to see him working. Yeah. I wish it hadn't been this film. Yeah. So once I realized it was PG, I was like, oh shit. So I have all the promise of like Rob Zombie, take it to 11, but for kids, what the fuck am I getting into? It's like there's nothing to look forward to here, and from that point on, I'm like done. I just couldn't. I think I smiled slightly at one part. I actually had did I smile? I'm not sure, but no laughs, nothing. There was nothing actually entertaining about this film, and I just feel like it was because there, okay, so it without any of the Rob Zombie vulgarity or violence. This is basically, I mean, Jesus, it's basically Tim Burton could have done the same fucking thing.
Oh, I mean, as much as we complain about Tim Burton, I think we would have enjoyed it if Tim Burton did it.
We'll move the camera a lot. We'll do the Captain of Caligari thing, the Cabinet of Caligari thing. We'll make it, we'll do like the weird sets and all that, and everything will be day glow. And that's perfect. It's like, yeah, great. The whole film has the feel of like a Pee-wee's Playhouse type show on public television.
Yeah, nobody they didn't. Mare and the kids, we all started watching it, and we got about, I would say, 45 minutes into this, and then the kids had to go to bed, and they never revisited it. I had to watch it, the rest of it on my own.
Were they laughing at anything?
No. The kids didn't like it, and Mare hated it.
Yeah, I mean, there was no joy in the film. It's really like Rob Zombie made the film for himself, which is great and all, but I can appreciate that the studios gave it to him, because who the fuck else wanted to do a Munsters thing? No one else, no one else, nobody. So give it to this guy. I remember he was talking about doing the Blob for years.
Oh yeah,
they're not giving you the Blob.
No. Well, they did. From what I understand, they offered him 20. No, he went and did Halloween instead. Okay. That's what ended up happening there. Now,
I'm glad he never did it.
I don't know. I mean, at that point in time, I think he might have done okay with the Blob. He might have done okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But from what I looked up the budget, from what I understand, I believe this is in the $9 million range. No one has come out and said what it is. They're guessing. They said it was $40 million, and Rob Zombie came out and said, "There's no way. How could anyone think this is $40 million?" He goes, "I wish I had a $40 million budget," but he said no.
What, on the Munsters?
Yeah.
No, $40 million? My ass.
Well, that's why Rob Zombie came out and squashed it. He goes, "No, this movie is nowhere near $40 million." And then they gave budgets of his previous films that he had done. Like, for instance, I want to say, it says here that he did like 31 for like $1.5 million. 3 from Hell was like $3 million. Like all of these movies that he's done. Halloween 2, all under $10 million. Some of them under $5 million. This film, on the other hand, I will say, it's a lot more colorful than a normal Rob Zombie movie. The sets seem to be a little bit more involved, specifically the house. I think they built that thing. I would say that this is probably... They're rumoring it around $9 million. I would say that's probably accurate.
Yeah, anything over 15 would be a joke. I mean, you can tell by watching it that it's a low budget. And when I say you can tell it's a low budget film, I don't mean it's poor quality. There's no poor quality in the film. I'm not gonna we're not gonna trash it because we didn't like it. It's cinematography's good. The color's great. The camera work is what you're expecting from what he's trying to do. It's a well-made film.
I think so. I agree with that.
But there's no way you're blowing $30 million on this unless you're paying like Rob Zombie's wife $20 million. There's no fucking way.
No. I think this does fall somewhere in the $9 million range.
Theory. Fuck that.
Yeah. And Netflix, it went straight to Netflix. They paid for it. So, and there's 200 million subscribers. So, just based on that alone. I don't know any numbers of how many people watched it. Netflix doesn't really release that stuff, but I bet a lot of people have gone and watched this movie with their Netflix subscription. More people than who would have went to the theater to see it. That's for sure.
And I mean, and that's like the only way a film like this is going to make any money is if it comes out on Netflix and stuff. It's not that, I mean, if they're selling the rights to the distribution, you're not getting asses in theaters for this fucking film.
I mean, if it cost $9 million, I think it would have at least made that much in a theater. But print and advertising kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I want to make sure this is understood because I don't like reviewing kids' films on the show. We talked about this before.
Right.
Kids' films are aimed for a very, very undiscerning audience, and they're not really supposed to be quality works. Family films can be, but I mean, like if a kids film is bad, it's because they don't give a fuck because it's a fucking kids film. So why trash it? It's stupid. I think we discussed it in a previous episode. At one point this year, I was forced to watch Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo 2 by my son.
Oh God! And you know what's funny? Ironically, they just watched Scooby-Doo just like 3 nights ago.
Okay.
I walk in and I'm like, what? Why?
Well,
I could have sworn that Rowan Atkinson was in the second one.
No, first one. I knew that.
Well, I mean, listen, I never watched either of them, but I just thought for some reason he was in the second one.
So, I never watched him either, but I knew that. So I was made to watch him. I
Okay,
didn't want to
my
watch
God.
him. I didn't want to watch him, but I gave it a chance, and I didn't even know who wrote them until we were like almost done with the first.
I did know that James Gunn.
I was like, who's the screenwriter? It's like, oh, because what I was surprised at is I was laughing throughout the film. I was like, oh, there's actually funny parts here. I mean, and I'm not just talking about the occasional adult humor nod. It's like it was well written. It was well crafted. There was like some funny. They just pulled off some funny jokes, and it was enjoyable. The second one, not so much, but I did enjoy watching them.
Right.
So I did. I went into it not wanting to see it, but I allowed myself. All right, and I did the same thing with the Munsters. So. And fuck that. There's nothing funny there.
And James Gunn, he started out as a trauma guy. Mm-hmm. Like he goes way back into the 90s doing trauma stuff. So that's how far back James Gunn goes.
I discovered James Gunn like officially, like knowing who he was and that I loved him is after when Slither came out.
Yeah, that was probably the first time I ever really knew who he was.
At that point on, I was sold.
He's just awesome.
It's like Dawn of the Dead with Zack Snyder. It's like I'm in forever.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Just don't pull a King Kong, and we'll all be good.
And he hasn't yet. So
nope.
And what's funny about Zack Snyder? Well, there's nothing funny about it. But I just posted. I do every Halloween. I post 31 movies, one a day that I recommend. People seem to like it, and I picked The Watchmen yesterday, and. I don't know if you read my little blurb. I don't go too extensive, but I really think he was able to take an unfilmable, quote unquote unfilmable piece of material, and not only did an amazing job, but in a lot of ways made it better than the comic.
He improved upon the source material. I will say that it is better than Alan Moore's graphic novel.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Hands down.
And the thing is, there was this whole movement when he was given the DCEU, and he started it off with Man of Steel, which was excellent, by the way. I defend that movie. That is an excellent Superman film, the best one in my opinion. People will defend, the first Christopher Reeve film and even the second one, and believe me, I love them. But Man of Steel, for all it's worth, is realistically the best Superman film that's been made.
I still say Man of Steel made me like Russell Crowe and Krypton. Two things I never thought would happen in a film.
Right.
Like, at that point, going forward. But damn, it was such a refreshing change of pace after Superman Returns.
Oh my God, of course.
And I'm glad everyone in the world has kind of agreed. Yeah, that's just not part of the timeline.
Yeah, it's just what movie? Oh, yeah, no, we don't refer to that one. Bullet into the eyeball. Come on.
Yeah. Speaking of a film ripping off its predecessors, one thing that really annoyed me about the Munsters is how it just blatantly lifted one of the main parts of Young Frankenstein.
Oh, the singing and dancing, like the entertainment part. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about switching the brains.
Oh.
Right down to writing it on his hand. I mean, they had everything except Abby Normal there. It was just in the brain. It was such a I thought it was such a lazy way to do that, and doing it as a writer, as a filmmaker, doing that, that it's it feels copied off of that. That. And to stick with that choice, well, I'm just going to do that anyway. No, fucking do something. It was lazy. I really thought. I felt like he didn't do this he did it for the visuals. I don't think he did it for the story. I don't think he gave a shit. And all the jokes he was going through. I wrote a screenplay about a bad comedian. I found far better jokes than those.
Yeah.
God damn it, man! That was just lazy screenwriting. That's it. But I will defend moon pie, cherry, whatever zombie.
Cherry moon pie.
Yeah, whatever it was. I will defend her. I was actually paying attention to why she act because I was looking for a reason to give her shit. It's like, I think she's actually trying, and I think she's, for what she's.
I think she tried. I think it's a miscast in my opinion.
I thought it was fine. I thought she did a fine job. I don't. It's not a character you really could ruin. I mean, it's just. What the
I
fuck?
bet Cassandra Peterson would have been a better Lily.
Maybe, but I'm just saying she was she was a fine Lily for me. And his Herman Munster was, I liked it. I
actually didn't mind the Herman Munster in this movie at all.
I said, and the whole thing with having what was it, Leroy, the werewolf.
Oh yeah.
instead of cousin Eddie and all that. I was like you're already kind of revamping the universe. But then again, maybe it's a good idea not to bring kids into this film. Let's just keep this adults.
Right.
Let's not muddy those waters. God, let's keep them away from the children, please. Keep them away from the children. What was I? Oh, what episode number is this, by the way?
376.
376. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll be at our 400th probably somewhere in the spring.
I think my favorite thing about watching the Munsters was that all through it, I could just imagine a racist comic store owner somewhere just pained, just a tear rolling down his cheek as they destroy one of his favorite childhood shows. So, the Addams Family's always been better, and it always will be. Burn in hell.
And what's interesting about it too, Tim Burton's spin-off show Wednesday, I think hits Netflix this week or soon. I think it's soon. It's another Netflix show, or I think it's Netflix, but it's a TV show called Wednesday, and it's about Wednesday Addams.
Oh, we saw a trailer for that. I'm not interested, but I'm okay with it.
Well, what I'm getting at is I'm sure it's going to be 100 times better than this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it may not be great, but it's definitely this fucking thing. And you know what? And it's refreshing to go into. I was talking to somebody at work who just hates Rob Zombie to the core and everything.
Really?
And
I like Rob Zombie. I've seen him in concert. Great in concert. I hear he's not great all the time.
We're not talking about a musician here. We're talking about a filmmaker.
I'm talking about him as a whole. I have enjoyed his movies. And I enjoy a lot of his music.
I feel he's hit and miss for me. I love a lot of his films, but I'm more than willing to slam one when it's fucking shit, like Lords of Salem or the Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Both of those were just fucking monstrosities. It was the Halloween 2 was a music video that got out of hand. Yeah. And Lords of Salem was
that he was trying to be art house with that one.
He was trying to be what's his face?
What, Kubrick?
Kubrick, yeah. He was like, "Oh look, I'm Kubrick." No, you're really not.
Yeah. Look at this wide shot. No, I don't care if she's on a bridge over a lake and it's fall and there's leaves and it's all. Stop it.
Oh yeah, and some of the there's that one the scene where she's like she's lonely and then it's panning to Herman still wrapped up, and then it's like there's some really long sequences where you're like, why you're just padding the time, motherfucker.
I don't understand why either. The movie's an hour and 50 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you could have trimmed this down an hour and a half, no problem. Why you? It's almost like he's got the exact. I mean,
I think this could have been a very solid 85-minute movie.
Oh yes, definitely.
You know, I don't know how much better, but it definitely would have been tighter, for sure.
And what's worse? The worst thing about the film is sitting through it, being it painfully slow, and when it ends, you're still like, "Oh, that ended kind of quick." Because it's like they spend so much time on this buildup of him meeting Lily, and then the last 10 minutes, like, okay, we got to get rid of the castle and move into a house and take over the town, or scare everybody. So what the fuck? Why is this the part we sped up?
It was. You're right. It's kind of.
Yeah.
It was. I thought the same thing, and from the TV show, one of the things that he kept was they showed up during a Halloween block party. So everyone's in costume, and they think they're going into this town where they're all mutants and the demons and kind of crazy looking people, and they're like in heaven. And then the next day, the block party's over. It's probably November 1st, and it's over. It's done. And they're like, "Oh my God, where did everybody go?" And then when people see them, they start screaming and yelling, just like in the TV show. I mean, he did keep true to that.
The vast majority of the time spent on just like this origin story of their love is just so drawn out and so not necessary, and it really feels like he's doing it because he just wants to spend all this time watching these actors he loves portray these characters he loves on the screen.
Right.
It's really masturbatory in a lot of ways, and so he doesn't really bother to do anything because all he wants to do is just put it up there and let it go. And I don't think that's a good way to make a film. I could be wrong. That's. I mean, there's not much more to say. I mean, there's no highlights to it at all.
No,
there's not a part where I go, oh, well, this was good or that. Like I said, I can't remember the part where I kind of grinned a little. Although, but like I said, I do appreciate the whole opening, because at first I was put off a bit, and I was like, well, wait a minute, all right, he is a Frankenstein type character, so this actually makes a lot of sense. I can actually, so like the whole grave robbing thing was great, but did it have to take half an hour?
It took a really long time.
Yeah, maybe we didn't need like to go through all of that. Maybe it could have started like with them throwing the switch. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to compare here, but the Addams Family cartoon that came out. The original one a few years back.
You mean the one from like 5-6 years ago?
The first one, yeah, because there was a sequel. Yeah. The first reboot. Yeah,
got it.
So the first animated reboot of the Addams Family, he does a whole origin story of the Addams Family before they get to that town. How long does that take? Oh yeah, like 10 minutes, because they know how to tell a fucking story, Rob. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All he wanted to do was play with the characters and his actors and his cameras, and he didn't really give a shit about his story or entertaining. That is my theory. It's the only way the film makes sense to me. And you know what? They paid him for it. He made it. Good for him. I don't criticize him for making the film. I'm just saying that's what it is.
All right. So let's rate this thing.
And the title? Unoriginal.
The Munsters Take Manhattan. It's currently sitting
something,
right? It's currently the Munsters go on vacation. They're already established and they go on vacation with the kids and all of that. I don't care how they meet, but whatever.
I do want to ask you one thing though before we wrap up 100%. As a parent who actually had a kid watching this, and if they had watched the whole thing, is there any part of that film where you kind of felt like uncomfortable with the whole drinking blood thing, or when they're talking about killing people? Or is there any part where you're like, oh, this is a little uncomfortable for me?
No.
Cool. I was curious.
They both play video games. They've both seen the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Would there have been an age? Where you wouldn't have been comfortable in watching it?
Yeah, probably about 2 years ago. Probably around 8 and 10, but they're 10 and 12 now.
Okay, so anything like 10 and up is like what you feel.
10 and up, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Like we're letting our 10-year-old, depending on the movie, and for the most part, they're all kind of acceptable. We're letting him watch PG-13 movies.
Okay.
So because as far as PG-13 these days, it's more on the cartoony violence than anything else. When it has violence, it's usually cartoony. There's never any real blood. And if there is, it's only a little bit, barely any swearing. PG-13s today, they usually get those because PGs are so much more tame. You know.
You know what's hilarious? And I asked because while I was watching it, I was thinking, I can't judge this on myself because I'm not a real human, so I got to see what like normal parents would feel uncomfortable with. I didn't see anything there that I would have been shocked to have a kid watch.
No, there was nothing here.
I was just curious, but I think it's hilarious that Rob Zombie comes out with a film for Halloween, and the film that gets that becomes a huge talking point about endangering children is Hocus Pocus 2 because it might have witchcraft coming out of the TV.
Oh, God.
That's how crazy these things got. Rob Zombie made a film and nobody gave a shit. Hocus Pocus 2 came out and parents freaked.
What they should have just been mad that the Hocus Pocus 2 is just a big pile of steaming shit. They break out into dance, like a song and dance number when they get resurrected. Now in the first film, I don't like either movie. In the first film, they break into a song and dance because it's a cover-up. They're like it's some Halloween ball or something, and they do it because their cover will be blown. In this,
Spoilers.
because whatever, I fucking care. In the second one, I walk in on them getting resurrected, and they go into a full song and dance number because it's fucking Disney, and everything has to have fucking song and dance nowadays. It was so deuce-chilling bad. I can't. And I'm sorry. I'm tired of seeing the goddamn Hocus Pocus posts around every Halloween. Like it's been named the official movie of Halloween. It can go fuck itself.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Fuck Hocus Pocus. Right. Fuck pumpkin spice latte whatever. And fuck the fact that everyone thinks it's the official movie of Halloween. It ain't. Sorry.
Touched a nerve with that one. Oh my! I've seen neither of them, and I brought it up with my coworkers because they're younger than me because I'm fucking old, and I would told them so. I just was too old at that point where I didn't care and I never saw it. It's just I have no opinion on it. I just was out of my time, my age group. That's all.
Fuck that movie and fuck the sequel.
Okay. So speaking of fucking, I mean, sequels, or what are we doing?
We're rating the movie.
That's right.
It's currently sitting at a 4.6 on IMDb.
Wow, not popular, eh?
No.
I got to see this. I got to see what this is. Is this a horseshoe?
It's a horseshoe.
It's not a horseshoe.
Isn't it?
It's not.
Well, it's almost.
Horseshoe, the lowest point would have to be 5 or 6.
Well, when I think horseshoe, I think, the majority of votes are 1s and 10s, which is what I think I'm looking at here. Yeah, but to me, that's a horseshoe.
It's skewed to a bit. It's not a true cult film. It has the markings of one, but not there.
It's amazing that 11% of the votes are a 10.
Yeah, well, those are Munsters fans.
No, I think a lot of the ones are Munsters fans.
Well, those are, but yeah, maybe you're right. Well, what's the highest demographic? The highest demographic is one male under 18 who gave it 8 stars. Fucker threw off the curb.
Yeah.
The lowest is 4.0. One female under 18. That date didn't go well.
No. No, it did not.
The biggest vote was like it seems like the biggest percentage was like around
males 30 to 44 and 45 and up really did not like this movie.
No, why should they? Yeah. No, this is definitely a film that's not for most people. In a non-streaming world, this would have been direct to video.
Oh, yeah. And you know what's interesting, too? So on the votes, only 7,400 votes. That seems rather low for a free movie on Netflix with 200 million subscribers.
Well, But the real film people are the ones that go on IMDb to rate it, and those aren't the ones watching the film. So
I guess not.
So I mean,
I would go 5 on this.
I would
personally.
I would put this in Flintstones territory.
Which one? The first one?
Whichever one was direct to video.
The second one?
Yeah, whichever had a lower budget.
No, I think both of them went theater.
Did they?
I want to say they did.
There had to be. I don't know. But that's
I'll find out real
That's
quick.
kind of how I felt going. I've never watched a Flintstones film. I could never get through that shit. I've seen pieces of it, but I don't know. I would put it in that category. Just something no one ever really asked for, and it really shouldn't have happened. Although I'm sure the Flintstones film was more popular.
Yeah, both of them.
Because everyone likes Tom Arnold. Not Tom Arnold. God damn it. John Goodman.
And then the second film, John Goodman did not reprise his role as Fred Flintstone, and it was the British guy from shit.
And Rick Moranis did not reprise his role of Barney. Remember who plays Barney in the second one?
No.
It's a Baldwin.
Oh, Stephen Baldwin. Yeah. What the fuck was the name of that movie with Heath Ledger? Knight's Tale. He was a British guy from A Knight's Tale. He played Fred Flintstone. The first movie, since I'll just do it real quick for you. First movie made $130 million domestically, $211 million internationally, for $341 million worldwide. That's the one with John Goodman.
Yeah.
Then the second one, $35 million theatrically, domestically, $24 million internationally, $59 million worldwide. $83 million budget. So, yeah, that one was sold to cable and TV a lot to make that money back.
So what are we thinking for Munsters? Do we think 5?
I would go 5. I think 4 is cruel because it's not that bad.
Lower. If someone wanted to convince me to go to a 6, I'd listen, but I definitely wouldn't go lower than 5.
I can't go 6.
Well done. It's just dull.
I can't go 6.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to. But I'm just saying. I would if I could be convinced, but I could not be convinced of lower than 5. That's not nice. This it's not fun. It's not entertaining, but it's not like horrible. It's just bad.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, we gave X a 6, and as much as we had issues with X, that is a way better movie than this.
Yes, I will give that.
So there's just no way the Munsters could ever be a 6, not to me anyway. A 5. I think it's an average movie.
That's why. Okay, all right. I agree.
Do we know what we're going to review next week?
Oh, I mean, want to figure it out now, real quick?
We got choices. Pearl. We could do Pearl. We could do the new VHS. We could do Antlers. We can do the new Halloween movie.
Oh, I want to do Jeepers Creepers, the new Jeepers Creepers.
The new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, have you seen the third one yet?
No, but I will. I will watch the third one, and I will watch the new one for next week if that's what we're doing.
Why don't you do that? We'll review both. We can do we'll do both next week.
One episode for both, or 2 episodes?
No, 2 episodes. We'll do 2 episodes. We'll do 1 for 3 and 1 for 4.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been trolling some of my friends to see if anybody wants to come on as a guest host. So we might have somebody tap in if anybody's interested in joining us.
Sure. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, if it happens. People are busy.
It could happen.
Could happen.
Poor Judy Tenuta. She passed away last week.
Yeah. Bring the room down.
That was her thing. It could happen.
I know.
I know you know, but I'm letting our tens of audience members.
Just end the show.
We actually have quite a few listeners.
Well, as you're going through, you do your spiel, and you can mention the new places you can find the show now.
Oh, that's right. There is 2 new places. I saw that you threw a little advertisement up on Facebook for it.
Did I? Oh, yeah, that's right.
You shared it.
Yeah, I shared it.
All right, everybody. Thank you, as always, for joining us for another episode of Moviesucktastic, episode 376. You can go to our website at moviesucktastic.com. You can listen or download the show there. You can also go to iTunes, iTunes/Moviesucktastic, or if you do a Google search for iTunes Moviesucktastic, it comes right up. Go on your iPhone, your fucking iPad, whatever you want to do. You can find us on iTunes. You can go to facebook.com/Moviesucktastic, and you can watch any of the content we put there, from when we go live to teasers, trailers, movie news, whatever. You can also now find us on Amazon Music. They have a whole podcast section now. You can find us there. And you can find us on Audible as well. That's fun. So you can do a search in your favorite web browser for Moviesucktastic, and we're all over the fucking place there as well. You can also leave us email. The address is themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. You can leave us voicemail, 908-514-4470. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
Addams Family's better.
Okay.
Really.
All right. Had all week to think of that one, but all right. It's words of wisdom. I'll take it. All right, everybody. We will talk to you.
It's all I got. It's all I got for Rob Zombie.
It's okay. All right. We'll talk to you next week. Oh, Lily. All right, everybody. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.